Hey, ladies. So today's conversation, we're going to be talking about that inner glow. I love a good glow from within that just kind of exudes out. I love that. I love that. I feel like that's something that I strive for. I try to make sure that I carry that in me because sometimes we have to fake it till we make it, but to actually have that good feeling on the inside and it kind of exudes out, you got to kind of eliminate some things in your life, So we're going to talk about that. So today's conversation is going to be about the inner glow on how Black women can prioritize themselves in this busy world, okay? Because we already know the climate that we're in right now, not me with the hand gestures. But we know what kind of climate that we're in right now, and we really have to prioritize ourselves. I want to say maybe back in November, I did a video talking about how we're in our rest era, and we really have to focus on ourselves. We really, really do as Black women, and we are. But before we get into talking about all these different things, I want to touch points on. Your girl was sick because I wasn't up here giving a word, but I was sick, y'all. I got sick. You could probably still hear the congestion. That's why I want to mention it to you because your girl had the flu. Who gets the flu? Like, who is still getting the flu? I thought the flu was over, but I know it's still out here. But nevertheless, I got sick. I thought I had a sinus infection, and I was like, I'm gonna go get me some medicine, have it be cleared up, and I'll be fine. No, mm-mm. Your girl had a full blown sign. No, I had the full. Can't even get it out. I had the flu, but we're good now. We're like 98% back. I need them extra 2 points so I can really get this like the rest of this mess out of me. But for the most part, I feel good. I don't have my chills anymore. I never had the body aches, but the real bad congestion with my head was really feeling bad. I was sleeping, sitting up, all those different things. I don't have that anymore. So I'm happy that has passed. So yeah, I had to I had to address that because your girl was going for a minute. I just couldn't. It's so funny because I was feeling bad when I was going to record some new videos, right? And I had to stop. I was like, I really feel best. Let me just take a little break. Maybe my body's talking to me. I need to rest a little bit. And before I knew it, I just started feeling sick, sick, and more sick. And here we are. Here we are. But let's get into it, ladies. Let's get into it. First on the list, recognizing the need for change. Remember, we are prioritizing ourselves in this busy world. We have a lot going on now. And sometimes, us as Black women, we want to put so much on our plate and we do not have to. Take the cape off, honey. Okay. So, first thing is recognizing the need for change. What are some signs of neglecting self care when you're burnt out? I'm putting my hand up. I've been there before. I've been there before where I neglect myself. I become burnt out. I have lack of joy and I become irritable. I become so irritable. And that's when I know that I need to focus on me. And that's something I did not do in the past. And I sit back and think about, right now, like prioritizing myself. I feel like if I were to prioritize myself in maybe like some past situations, I might have been better for other people and other things that was going on in my life. I probably would have showed up better. But I neglected myself and I couldn't pour from a full cup or a cup that was running over because I didn't know how to take care for myself. So now I know, I'm happy in one fold that I'm able to recognize that now, but I wish I would have recognized that before. I really feel like, let me tell y'all something. Therapy did a number on your girl, a good number, okay? A good number. Another one, and recognizing you need change. Social pressures and cultural norms. Us as Black women, we can tend to not want to self prioritize ourselves. Like I just mentioned, we want to care for others, because that's sometimes that can be passed on how you was raised and maybe how you seen your family do things and stuff like that. We want to be so caring and wanting to be, nurturing and whatnot. But I found that when I did that, I got burned. And I only pretty much did that more so in relationships with men or with family members, and then you wind up getting burnt at the end. Never in any of my like female, girlfriend friendships, none of that. But that's when I find myself wanting to be the nurturing superwoman type thing. And that's when I realized, no, you ain't gotta do that. You ain't gotta do that. But you learn now. You learn now. It's called recognizing when you need to change. And that's one thing that I recognized that I needed to change, that I wish I would have learned how to do earlier, but I did later. So to tie that in, I want to mention, when you prioritize yourself, you tend to have better health. I have this here. You have better health, you have better relationships, and it's overall happiness. And I can truly say right now, as I am sitting here talking to you, I have all that now. And before I did not have that because I did not prioritize myself. I prioritize things that I shouldn't have prioritized. And again, better late than never. It's never too learn. It's never too late to learn. So next is practical strategies for prioritizing yourself. Like, what are some things that you can actually do to prioritize yourself? Let's get into it. Setting boundaries. You guys, that's what's first on my list. I had no boundaries before. And I also had no boundaries when people used to tell me things, thinking they could just say whatever they want to say to me. I had no boundaries, none. But now, you can't say what you want to say to me. Because if you want to get respect from me, you got to give. And that's just, across the board. And, yeah. hmm Now I understand. Like, I'm going to be 49 this year. Now I understand when you get to like that 50 mark or that 40, it's like, you understand like the elders in your family, like, why they always say what they want to say? They crazy. They be running their mouth. I get it now. Because I'm like, you can't say what you want to say to me. You can't. You can't. Because if you say whatever you want to say to me, I'm going to say whatever I want to say to you. It's going to be kind of flip. Let me cut it out. Setting boundaries, and this is how we're gonna start prioritizing ourselves. Setting boundaries, don't feel guilty for saying no. Don't feel guilty. And I used to always feel guilty when I say, or if I wanted to say no, I would not say no, and then I would do something and then I would regret it. Or if I said no, somebody would make me feel bad about me saying no. Things like that. So don't feel guilty. Carve out time for yourself. Start making like little small time for yourself. It's like 15 minutes where it's focusing on you. Now, for those of you who are actually watching me on YouTube and you're listening on the good podcast. This room right here that I'm in, it is definitely my podcast room, but I have made this room to where I can come in here and I can have a moment to myself. I can actually sit here and read. I can sit here and just get into Kelly. And that's when I had to learn. Yeah, you can sit on your living room couch. You can sit in your on your bed. But see, I have a home with other people. So I had to sit back and make me a space. Now, if I lived alone, my whole house would be a place. Now, I can still go around my whole house, but sometimes when you just need a moment to like lock everybody out your world and not like going into the bathroom, sitting on the toilet type thing or sitting in your car, because I've definitely did those things. You have to actually make space and time for yourself. You have to pour into yourself. It's important. It's important, because that's like showing love for yourself. We can sit back and show love to other people, but we have to sit back and show love to ourselves. The next thing that I got down here is reconnect with your passions. Rediscovering hobbies and activities that bring you joy. Now, what brings me joy, I'm going to be honest with you, is doing this. And I feel like I'm so rusty because like I haven't actually, recorded in, I want to say, 2 weeks. So I feel kind of rusty. I kind of started over a couple of times, but here we are, just being transparent. But this is something that I truly, truly love. But I definitely want to pick up something else. I want to pick up doing either Pilates or yoga. Now I can definitely do something like coloring, but I said the hobby I'm gonna pick up something that's gonna be more of an active hobby versus it being something more of me being kind of stationary where I'm sitting and kind of focusing. But I definitely want to pick up something that I normally wouldn't do and stick to it. Like I've done Pilates before, but I've never done yoga. I've never done yoga. So yeah, and I've recently, well, I think I told you guys, but I recently joined another gym. I'm telling you, ladies, let me hook you up. If you have Blue Cross, Aetna, Cigna, United, they have this thing where you can join. Like when I joined, it was only $20 a month. It was $19 a month, and you can go to multiple gyms. I have 3 gyms, and let me tell you something. That's probably how I got sick, okay? Telling you the truth. I have 3 gyms, and one gym is like my backup gym. Like when I just don't want to like drive far. Then I have one that's kind of like really, really close to my house. Then I have one that's kind of like far from my house, but a little bougie, if you will. So when I want to have my bougie moment, I go over there. So check into your health insurance. It might be called Silver Sneakers. It might be called oh my God, something. They say what the whatever is for the health and wellness. They have it. Or if it's Blue Cross, if it's Blue Cross that you have, it might be Blue 65 or 365 Blue. Look into it. Everybody has it. Because I know a couple of people that I know, they go to Planet Fitness and they pay, I think, the $19, but they get like the $25 plan. So something you want to do. I don't have Planet Fitness because the Planet Fitness by me is not given. Okay, it's not given. But they're changing them now. They're changing all the Planet Fitnesses, and they have a new vibe going on in there. But the one that I can have easy access to, no. Mm-mm. There's a few that I can get to because Planet Fitness they're like bodegas in New York. They all over the place. But no, I can't. It's like a hangout spot for me. I don't know the ones that I can get to. But if yeah. But what's next? Daily affirmations. I want, and I want to put it out there. I want to do a affirmation, um, a daily affirmation. I don't know what to call it. Like I want to do it, and I want to give it to you. I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about creating 30 daily affirmations to give to you. I don't know what made me think of that, but it just came out. But yeah, daily affirmations, that's I use those for self-talk. Sometimes we sit back and we are afraid to have a conversation with ourselves. I know I just went off real quick. But well, when you can actually sit down and talk to yourself, it's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not sitting here where you're like actually having like a psychotic conversation. You're actually talking to yourself and you're pouring into yourself, saying good, kind words and motivating yourself and pumping yourself up, knowing that you can actually do something. And if you feel that something can come in your way to make you feel like you can't do what you want to do, or you may feel a certain kind of way, you can still have that conversation with yourself. I don't know. I hope I'm making it sound right. I hope I am. I hope I am. I feel my nose getting kind of stuffy. I feel as I'm talking, my nose is getting stuffy. Next, delegate and ask for help. That is something that I struggle with. I struggle with that so hard with asking for help. And there was a time in my life this past year, um, I had asked for help. Did it feel good? Yes, it did. It did. But asking for help it came with a cost, you know? And I had to sit back and say, is it really worth it? Or just do it yourself, or, something like that. So, but in saying that, ask for help. Ask for help if you can, or if you can delegate it. Like for me, I am thinking about, and I know I probably shouldn't even put this out there like that. I'm thinking about getting a editor because I really want to pump out more um, content. And if I want to pump out more content, I have to have someone to help me because I'm going to get behind. And I may do it for a short period of time because I may have something coming up and I might need somebody to help me to do that. So I've definitely spoke with my youngest daughter because she's good with computers and she's good with editing systems and things. So I may pay my daughter to be my editor. I'm going to see. We're going to work something out because she ain't doing nothing for free. So we may do that. In addition to that, I've tried the cleaning service where they come into your home and clean, but I don't keep my house messy, but I do like to have that deep clean. And sometimes I'm tired. So I may do a deep I may have them come in and do that again because I'll be honest, this time around I'm starting to see like the little dust around the baseboard area. And I can go ahead and just do that. I have like a little thing where you go around. But I really want somebody to come in here and like do my windows. I'm looking at my windows and things like that. Like really come in here and like get it done for me. So I'm thinking about doing that because that will definitely help me because we have to let go of that superwoman mentality that you can do it all. And I find myself where I'm like, okay, well, I can get my laundry done and then I can next weekend I can do the deep cleaning and then I can not do that deep clean again until maybe next month. And then I do surface cleaning. Stop. Stop. And I know some things may cost, but if you have to ask your children, your significant other, however, however, ask for help. And if sometimes we sit back, and it's one thing I learned from a book that I read. I forgot what book it was. I think it was the 4 Hour Work Week. It was if you how much would you pay for this service? And or if you were to do it, how much would you want for it? And if you can afford it, just go ahead and outsource it. So you can free you up some time. Because sometimes we sit back and we think having a rich life means monetary. Sometimes having a rich life just means, having that freedom, just having that freedom to do whatever you want to do. So, yeah, delegate and ask for help and take off the cape. No more superwoman, no more. And last but not least, wellness first. Prioritize your mental health and your physical health. It's super important. Have a transparent moment. I had many scares when it came to, if it was pressure, if it was heart, or whatever the case may be, because I had so much stress on me. And I had to sit back and reel back things in my life, to get things in order. Because if not, you sit back and you say, "Oh, I'm good, I'm good." Before you know it, the next thing you know, you on 50 pills, you trying to change your diet, and it's so hard to stop doing something bad. So it's best to kind of like not do it or kind of, wean it away. Because let me tell you something. At one point, I didn't even realize it. I was eating, having a good time. I don't eat that bad, but I was having a good time. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, I got comfortable with taking myself out. I got comfortable with me and my family going out. We going out every Friday and Saturday. This has been some years now because everybody in my house, we can't play them games anymore. But it was at one point we were going out every Friday and Saturday. It was like a ritual. And before I knew that mess caught up to me. And I'm thinking because, I may look the way I look on the outside, but the inside was being like winged like a rag. I had to cut back. And I want to say last year when my oldest had turned 30, before I went to Cancun, I said, I got to make sure I'm good. I didn't drink January, February, March. I didn't eat nothing crazy. I didn't do no fried food. I'm not really a big fried food eater, but I didn't eat like a Bojangles or a Popeyes. I didn't do any of that. The bread didn't bring it in the house. I really, really, really buckled down. And let me tell you something. Everything was good. And I've had some hiccups along the way, but I had to learn, Kelly, you can still enjoy life, but you still have to maintain a healthy lifestyle. You have to. You are not, your metabolism is not the way it used to be. You know, I'm not 20 no more. So I have to get my greens in, eat lean meat, and be mindful of my carbs. So if I had to sit back and pick between a baked potato and some french fries, I would pick the baked potato. You know what I mean? If I had to sit back and think about, am I going to eat that bread at the table, or am I going to wait for my baked potato, or I'm going to have my croutons in my salad? Like, you know, I have to really be mindful because that stuff catches up with you. It really, really does. And let me tell you something. You don't realize when it's coming, but you pay attention when once you got it, because you can't get it. You got to really work hard to get it off. Right now, I've been trying to lose about 15 pounds. I'm down 5. I got 10 more to go. And let me tell you something. It is like hell. It is like hell. So, in saying all of that, prioritize your health, schedule your checkups, you know, go to your doctor's appointment, go to the dentist, go to the eye doctor, get your physicals. If you got to get that mammogram, if you got to get them pap smears, whatever you got to get them done. Okay? One thing I don't play about is some appointments. I makes them. Okay, next up is making it sustainable. Okay. And when I mean that is something, what are you doing in your life that you can continue to do? And that is creating like non-negotiable things in your life, i.e., morning routines, evening routines. Like I'm gonna be, for me, my morning routine is very, very simple. One thing I do is I don't jump out the bed. I ain't jumping out no bed. I wake up early. I am an early bird. So what I do is I lay there. When I wake up, I'm not trying to jump out the bed and my eyes are still closed. I'm trying to reach to find my way through. No, I lay there until I literally open my eyes fully. And I'm like, okay, I am fully awake. And then whatever I choose to do, if it's me, you know, getting up, gotta go to the restroom, you know, you gotta do your little face, get everything in order, brush them teeth. First and foremost, get all that stuff done. And if it's me sitting back, if it's, you know, reading a devotional, reading an affirmation or whatever, you know, pouring into yourself, it is a must. Make some things non-negotiable. When you sit back and start doing things for yourself in the morning versus you just jumping up, getting yourself together, getting them kids together, getting in the car, grabbing your work bag, going in, trying to grab yourself something, Starbucks or whoever on the way, and then get into that job and do what you got to do. Or even if you're working from home, doing the same thing, trying to get the kids out the house, doing everything, you got to take a moment for yourself. And I don't even mean get everything done and then take a moment. You got to come first, because if you don't, guess what? Everything's going to still move. This world is still moving regardless of whatever. Okay? Pour into yourself. Celebrate your small wins. Celebrate your small wins. I recently uh celebrated just something personal, you know. Got a little small cupcake, ate it by myself. Probably shouldn't be eating that cupcake. But I wanted to celebrate the fact that I made a pivot and I was so scared to do it. And you know, it's still some kinks being done, still some kinks working out here on, you know, the podcast, the channel, everything. But it's the fact that I did it and I didn't let fear hold me back, and me worrying about numbers and me worrying about money and me actually doing something that I wanted to do, to pour into myself and to pour into you. That's something that I really, really had to celebrate, because when you do something that you thoroughly, thoroughly want to do, you will keep doing it. And I stand by that. So in addition to celebrating your small wins, you also want to stay motivated and you also want to surround yourself with supporting individuals. You want to have your tribe and you want to surround yourself with people who understand what you're doing, who can also understand this is a priority to you, whatever it is that you're trying to do. You know, you want to surround yourself around those type of people. That's what you have to do. Non-negotiable. You have to, because sometimes when you surround yourself around people who are not in the same room of things, they may not understand what you have going on. You may not understand what they have going on. You can, still have your group of people, you know, that are there. They just may not be in your immediate circle, but you have to have a good supportive group when it comes to making things that's sustainable for you. And i.e., I'm gonna give you an example. In your household, when it's time, if you have a significant other or even if you're single, like for me, I'm a single woman, so I have my daughter. She knows at the end of the day, I gotta take care of myself. She's 18 now, so she got her own thing going on. But mommy gotta do me now. Mommy's into me. Mommy got this going on. So before anything, don't come to me in the morning because I got this going on. You know what I mean? In the evening, I got this going on. In the afternoon, I got that going on. On the weekend, I got this going on. Do I have my family time? I absolutely do. But I'm at a time in my life where it is all about Kelly. Do you hear me? Kelly. And last but not least, use tools like, planners. I'm a planner girl. I haven't planned in 2 weeks, y'all, because your girl was sick. But use apps to track things. If it's, tracking to make sure you're drinking water, if it's tracking to make sure that you are planning your week, or if you're doing things like your morning routine, because sometimes when we actually see that what we're doing, and you don't have to have a plan, you can have a piece of paper. Sometimes if we actually sit and drink a little grid or a check box, it can really satisfy us. Do it in your notes app if you have an Apple phone, or if you have an Android. I don't know what y'all got over there because I don't have an Android. But you can always use some type of note app where you can like make little check boxes and say Monday, morning routine, evening routine, go for a walk. And when you start checking things off, that's when you starting to have things that are sustainable to you, and those like your non-negotiables. It feels so, so good. Like I really feel I probably could have lost maybe 2 more pounds if I wouldn't have gotten sick, because I was still eating with stuffy nose and all. So that the weight won't coming off. But if I would have been going to the gym, I really felt like those 5 pounds that I lost was due to the gym because they have not come back. So that's how I know the gym has definitely helped me. So I gotta get back in there so I can get these extra 10 pounds off. So yeah. So let's recap. I want to recap what we talked about. We recognizing the need for change, making a practical strategy for prioritizing ourselves and making things sustainable in our lives, like morning routines, evening routines, and just routines in general, because we have to put ourselves first. If we don't sit back and prioritize ourselves, we can't do anything because we will definitely break down and burn out. And yes, as Black women, we know how to push through. We know how to push through, but we don't have to be that strong. We don't. You know, I feel like even sometimes when you are in relationships, if it's a marriage or even if it's in dating or whatever it is, sometimes you still can be strong in those situations, but sometimes we have to tap into our softness. We have to, even as being a single woman. Kelly, even though I'm here doing things by myself, I still make sure if I don't want to do it, guess what I do? I pay to get it done. I make myself, I make my life very, very easy for myself. No hard life over here. Prioritize yourself. And I know sometimes, things cost and we can't, um, pay for certain things. Some of us have nephews, some of us have nieces and brothers and, things like that that can help us do certain things in our life. You know, use it, ask for help, soft life rest era. Okay. And I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys for being here. And if you're not following, go ahead and follow. Go ahead and subscribe because more of these conversations are coming. And I just want to say thank you. And I'll catch you in the next conversation. Bye, y'all.